We want to welcome you to this update from Agudah Yisrael, and everybody really wants to know where we're up to, what is happening, and Be'ezus Hashem, in the next few moments, you will hear the inside story from some of the key staff members of Agudah Yisrael who've been intimately involved in many of the activities and that are roiling Klal Yisrael today.
One of the decrees that we've had to fight here in New York in regard to the closing down of various of our mosques include the closing down of houses of worship under very strict limitations. And that, of course, was targeted at shuls. And the law is that in a red zone, you're entitled to have 10 people come into the building and no more. We sought a temporary restraining order preventing this rule from going into effect. We were not successful in that, and we have now asked the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit for expedited relief on this matter as well. We expect that the court will be holding a hearing in early November regarding this matter, by which time hopefully the entire issue will have been resolved and made moot. But if not, we are there to try and get our shuls open and not accept the position of the state that if there are 10 people in the building, no matter how large the building may be, you can't go beyond that. It ought to depend on the size of the building. That's what good health policy is.
For the last 2 weeks, many of our neighborhoods in New York have been under severe COVID restrictions, including limiting shuls to 10 people, closing schools, closing businesses. This week, some of our neighborhoods, the restrictions were lifted. We have been working closely with our friends in government to continue to get restrictions lifted. Very important that all those go out and test. The more testing we have, the better our numbers are. It's important all the Klal Yisrael, whatever we can, to please get tested for COVID. Let's get our numbers down, and we can hopefully get all our neighborhoods totally reopened, our shuls, our schools, and our businesses back open.
Under the leadership of Mrs. Zaka and with the capable assistance and guidance from our entire Yeshiva Services team, this week we have been working on the closure zones for the schools. As we all know, that many neighborhoods became yellow zones and the schools are opening up as of Monday. Many other neighborhoods, unfortunately, are still in the red zone and cannot open up. So what we have been doing is clarifying the various policies related to opening up in the yellow zones and advocating for policies that are more accommodating to the schools, as well as advocating for the red zones, and then of course communicating those frequently to the schools. We've sent many more emails this week to the schools than we do in a typical week.
All across the country, every one of the Agudah state and regional directors are working now to get out the vote. Please help them. Make sure that every registered voter, your friends, your family, your shul, everybody votes November 3rd. You don't have to wait. You can vote in most states. You can have early voting, absentee voting. The main thing is to make sure they see that our community gets out the vote and has a voice in government to allow those regional directors to then advocate on your behalf. Please go out and vote between now and November 3rd. And as we heard from the Moetzes Gedolei Torah this week, we have to put all our efforts towards adhering to the law and to the direction of medical experts.
Right, between juggling all the different COVID-related school issues, we actually have another area of education that we're dealing with. In 2017, a scholarship tax credit program was passed in Illinois, and in the first 2 years of the program, we raised about $10 million for schools respectively, and now we have just about a month left to raise $23 million. So it's all hands on deck. Schools have their hands full. We're trying to help with that fundraising, educate donors and taxpayers that they can direct their tax dollars towards Jewish education by taking advantage of this incredible program. And Yetz Hashem, we hope to reach our benchmarks and to enable as many Jewish children to attend the school of their choice where they can get a great education.
Across Maryland, nearly all of our schools are back for in-person classes. Despite having an uptick in community cases during the Yom Tov season, the schools have added additional health and safety measures to be best prepared for what lies ahead. Our office has been instrumental in working through the issues on behalf of the yeshivas with the local health departments.
And Yetz Hashem, on Sunday night at 8 p.m., we invite you all to join an hour with our Agudah Yisrael Kinus Cyrus and Asif Cyrus to understand the inyanim that are going on today and seek eights of Soshia from them. It will begin with Tilim by Harav Hill David and followed by Divrei Cyrus from Harav Shmuel Kamnetsky, Harav Yitzchak Sorotskin, Harav Yehuda Svei, and Harav Yaakov Horowitz.